A lake is a hollow depression or a basin on the Earth's surface where water has accumulated. The size, depth, and permanence of a lake depends on the nature of the basin, inflow of water from rainfall, and rivers in relation to the outflow by evaporation, rivers, and industrial use.
Formation and classification of lakes. Lakes vary in size and can either be natural or human-made. Some lakes have salty waters, while other lakes have fresh water. Lakes can be classified according to their mode of formation. This classification gives the following types of lakes. Lakes formed as a result of earth movement, lakes formed as a result of volcanic activity, lakes formed by glaciation, lakes formed by deposition, lakes formed by wind erosion, lakes formed by solution, human-made lakes, and meteorite lakes. Now let us discuss each one of them in detail.
Lakes formed by earth movement. Lakes formed by earth movement can be grouped into faulted or rift valley lakes and crustal warping lakes.
Faulted or rift valley lakes. These are lakes formed as a result of faulting. Faulting may produce steep-sided rifts, especially during the formation of the rift valley. As the faulting was taking place, there was differential movement on the floor that causes some parts to be downfaulted to form depressions. With time, water collects in them to form lakes. These lakes are usually long, deep, and narrow, like Turkana and Lake Baringo.
Crustal warping. Earth movement may lead to the process of crustal down warping, whereby the crust sinks to form a basin-like depression. Uplifting or tilting of the surrounding land masses cause rivers to reverse in direction. Water may collect in such a depression to form a lake. Examples of such lakes include Lake Victoria and Lake Mweru on the Zambia-Zaire border. Lakes formed by volcanicity. There are two types of lakes formed by volcanicity. These are crater lakes and lava-damped lakes.
Crater lakes. These are lakes formed when water from rain, underground, or melt ice accumulates in the crater or caldera of a volcano. Craters are formed during volcanic eruptions. A volcano sometimes explodes so violently that its top is blown off and disintegrates, leaving the crater greatly enlarged. This depression is filled with melt or rainwater. Crater lakes are circular in shape and steep-sided. These lakes are generally salty, for they have no outlets. For instance, Lake Paradise on Marsabit Mountain and Lake Shala in Ethiopia. Lava-damped lakes. These are lakes formed when viscous lava from a volcano accumulates across a river channel, forming a barrier. Water accumulates behind the barrier to form a lake.
Lakes formed by glaciation. Glaciation is a process by which moving ice or glacier change the land surface on a large scale through erosion, transportation, and deposition. Glaciation can lead to the formation of the following lakes: Sack lakes and Kettle lakes. Let us now discuss the mentioned lakes in detail. Sack lakes. Sack lakes are also known as Corrie or Turn lakes. Sacks are formed as a result of glacier erosion in the highland area. The pre-existing hollows on slopes of mountains fill up with ice. Ice enters into the hollows, enlarging them through plucking, freezing, and thawing and abrasion. These processes deepen and steepen the back wall of the depression, giving it an armchair shape. These depressions fill either meltwater or rainwater to form a sack lake. Examples of sack lakes on Mount Kenya include Teleki Tarn, Hidden Tarn, Michelson, Kars, and Hornell. Kettle Lakes. These are circular hollows filled with water in glaciated lowland areas caused by previous presence of large detached mass of ice which subsequently melted. For instance, Lake Mahoma in the Ruwenzori Mountains. Lakes formed by deposition. The lakes resulting from deposition can be classified according to the agent that deposited the materials. On this basis, there are river deposition lakes, wave deposition lakes, and lakes due to glacial deposition. Lakes due to river deposition. Lakes due to depositional activities of a river include oxbow lakes and delta lakes. Oxbow Lake. An oxbow lake is a horseshoe-shaped lake formed at the mature or old stage of a river. At this stage, the river develops pronounced meanders as deposition is faster than erosion. As the river flows, it is directed to the outer bank of the meander, causing undercutting. The material eroded is deposited on the inner bank or the slip-off slope. As undercutting goes on, the narrow neck of the land between the two meander loops becomes narrower and narrower. During floods, the river cut through the neck of the land, cutting the meander off. Deposition takes place at the mouth of cut-off meander and seals it. The abandoned cut-off meander channel forms an oxbow lake. Examples of oxbow lakes are Lake Shakababo, Lake Shalu, Lake Gombe on River Tana. Oxbow lakes are not permanent. They dry up to leave a meander scar. Delta lakes. Large amounts of materials may be deposited at the delta to form sandbars. Water is damped behind the sandbar to form a lake. For example, Lake Manzala on Nile Delta. Wave deposition lakes. Waves deposit sand and shingle across a river mouth. This leads to the formation of lagoons. The lagoons are separated from the main sea by the sandbanks. Lake Sare at the mouth of River Yala and Lake Nabugabo on the western shores of Lake Victoria are examples of lagoon lakes. Lakes formed due to glacial deposition. Lakes formed through glacial deposition include moraine-dammed lakes and ribbon lakes. Moraine-dammed lakes. Moraine is the materials or debris carried down by glacial erosion. When a valley glacier melts, the terminal moraine is deposited across the river valley or a glacial trough, forming a barrier. Water from melting ice, rain, rivers or underground accumulate behind the moraine barrier, forming a lake. Such lakes are called moraine-dammed lakes. Examples of moraine-dammed lakes include Lake Ellis, Lake Tindau, and Lake Alice on Mount Kenya. Ribbon lakes. When glacier erode the floor of the U-shaped valley, an elongated hollow is formed. This hollow is filled up with rainwater, river water, or meltwater to form a lake on eroded highlands where rocks are soft. Examples of ribbon lakes are Kar, Enchanting, and Michelson on Mount Kenya. On Mount Rwenzori, we have Lac Noah, Lac Vat, and Lac de la Lune are good examples. Lake formed by wind erosion. Wind erosion leads to the formation of deflation hollows or depressions which are deepened by abrasion process to reach the water table. Water oozes out to form wind erosional lake known as oases. For instance, Katara and Siwa depressions in Egypt. Lakes formed by solution. They are common in limestone areas. They are formed when rainwater containing weak carbonic acid dissolves limestone rocks, forming a basin. The basin is enlarged by continued solution to form a large depression. Rainwater or river water collects in these depressions, forming a lake. Human-made lakes. They are lakes formed when a barrier or dam is built across a river valley. Water collects behind this barrier to form a reservoir or lake. For example, Lake Gitaru, Kamburu, and Masinga on River Tana. Meteorite lakes. A meteorite is a mass of either nickel or silica from outer space. When a meteorite hits the ground with heavy impact, it creates a large depression which resembles a crater. Water collects in the depression, forming a meteorite lake. For example, Lake Bosumtwi in Ghana.